ब्रज शोदा जय जय गोपाल श्रीदामादि जय जय धेनुवत्सगा श्रीदामादि जय जय धेनुवत्सगा जय वृषभानु जय कीर्तिदा सुंदरी जय वृषभानु जय कीर्तिदा सुंदरी जय पूर्णमासी जय अभिरानागरी जय पूर्णमासी जय अभिरानागरी जय जय गोपेश्वर वृंदावन जय जय कृष्ण सखा बटु द्विजरा जय राम घाट जय रोहिणी नंदा जय जय वृंदावन वासी जात जा जय जय वृंदावन वासी जात जा जय द्विज पत्नी जय नाग कन्या गा भक्ति तेजहारा पाइलो गोविंद चारा लीला सर्व मनोरा जय जय रास लीला सर्व मनोरा जय जय उज्ज्वल रस सर्वरससा पर की अभावे जहाँ ब्रजत प्रचार पर किया भावे जहाँ ब्रजत प्रचार श्री जानवा पाद पद्मा कोरिया स्मरण कृष्ण दास को है नाम संकीर्तन दीन कृष्ण दास को है नाम संकीर्तन राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहा श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहा जय राधे श्याम जय राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय वृंदावन धाम जय वृंदावन जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल श्री वृंदावन धाम की श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर भगवान की जय जय श्री राधे श्याम। So we are here at this very auspicious place. This is known as Gokul Mahavan. So as we mentioned that there are 12 forests of Vrindavan. 12 forests of Braj Bhumi. And within the 12 forests of Braj Bhumi, Vrindavan is the most primary one or the most important one. Now where we are staying, that is Vrindavan town, where we are staying. So that is popularly known as Vrindavan. So let's not become confused that if that is Vrindavan, then where is Govardhan? How is that connected? It takes us 1 hour to go to Govardhan. It took us 1 hour to go to, to go to Radhakund that day when we had gone. So how is that also a part of Vrindavan? It's because Vrindavan is a very big forest. And in Vrindavan forest, Govardhan is included. In fact, there are so many places that we've been visiting. So every place we go, that corresponds to some forest. It's either Vrindavan or some other forest in Braj Bhumi. Like for example here, now today we are here at Gokul Mahavan. So this is Gokul. This is the place where Nand Baba and Ma Yashoda used to reside. And there is a Chaurasi Khamba temple nearby where there is Nand Bhavan. And this is a part of Mahavan. Just yesterday we went to Barsana. Day before yesterday we went to Nandagaon. So all of those places are also a part of Vrindavan forest. That's a part of Vrindavan forest. So where was Krishna residing? Krishna was residing after the age of 3.5 years. He was residing, they settled down in Vrindavan forest at Nandagaon. That's where they were residing. And he used to come to all over Vrindavan. They used to have their pastimes, including Govardhan. And the place where we are residing now, which is at Krishna Balram Mandir, near Krishna Balram Mandir, that place is called Raman Reti. So Raman Reti is the place where Krishna and his cowherd boyfriends, they used to come to play, because the sand was very soft there, Raman Reti. Now unfortunately we hardly see the Reti there, but that is the place Raman Reti. That's actually the official name of the place also. Okay, so just to put things in clear perspective, this is how the geography of this place is. And this place now where we have come, this is Gokul Mahavan. So what happened was that Sri Nand Baba and Ma Yashoda, they were residing here in Gokul. But because of the fear and the disturbance that was created by demons like Putana, Trinavarta, they decided then to shift to Vrindavan. So they went to a couple of places actually before they finally settled down in Vrindavan. They were also in Kamyavan, they went to Chattikara also, and then finally they settled down in Vrindavan. But it all began from here. So this is very auspicious place. You can see the river Yamuna, which is flowing by, sitting on the bank of the Yamuna. We are very fortunate, such an auspicious occasion. In the holy month of Kartik, we are able to perform Braj Parikrama like this, and also take some water from the river Yamuna, take the dust of Braj Bhumi on our heads. You see, in this world there are 3 things that never get contaminated. Spiritual potency they have. And what are these 3 things? One is Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. You chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra anytime, any place, anywhere. Even when you are going in the washroom, no problem. It doesn't get contaminated. The second is Jagannath Mahaprasad. Jagannath Mahaprasad never gets contaminated. Even if it is thrown in the garbage bin also, it is not contaminated. It always remains pure. And the third thing that never gets contaminated is the dust of Braj. So these are the most purifying of all things that is present in this world. This Braj Raj never gets contaminated. Now, the pastime that happens here is the beginning of Krishna Lila. So you see, there was Devamidha was the king who had a Kshatriya wife, through which he got a son called Shursen. He had a Vaishya wife also, through which he got a son named Parjanya Maharaj. Parjanya Maharaj had 5 sons. They were Abhinanda, Upananda, Sunanda, third is Nanda, Sunanda and Nandana. 5 sons. Third son was Nanda. Parjanya Maharaj, he was very upset, not happy, because all his sons had sons except Nand Maharaj. Nand Maharaj and Ma Yashoda, for a very long time, they did not have any children. So this was the pastime. This was going on here in Gokul. Meanwhile, we have to see what's happening in Mathura also. See this pastime here that happens in Gokul. It is both places. You see, Mathura and Gokul. On the other side of the Yamuna is Mathura. So in Mathura, so it was Maharaj Shursen, and Shursen's son was Vasudev. Now these were all the Bhoja, Andhaka and Yadu dynasties. The king of Mathura was that time a very pious king. That personality was Maharaj Ugrasen. Maharaj Ugrasen. A question may be asked that if Maharaj Ugrasen was such a pious king, then how come he had a demon-like son called? How is it possible? So our Acharya has mentioned that actually Kamsa was not fully the son of Ugrasen. It so happened that Ugrasen was married to Princess of Vidarbha, Padmavati. Padmavati, when she had gone to her father's palace, at that time there was a demon called Dramila who happened to become smitten by her beauty, took on the form of her husband Ugrasen, came in front of her. She was pleasantly surprised to see that her husband is standing right in front of her in her father's palace. So she went close to him, became intimate, and then she realized that this is not my husband. But by then it was very late and she was already impregnated. She cursed Dramila that your son will be killed by one of your relatives. So that child was Kamsa. And because Kamsa thus was actually the son of a demon, when he grew up, he had all the qualities of a demon. Now, Maharaj Ugrasen had a younger brother Devaka. Devaka had 7 daughters. One of them was Devaki. Devaki's marriage was arranged with Vasudev. So Devaki and Vasudev, they got married, and as was the ritual, a close relative takes the bride and groom to the groom's place personally. So Kamsa decided that he will be that one, and he took the chariot to, he took both Devaki and Vasudev on the chariot. And as they were moving along in procession, there was an announcement. The demigods made an announcement. And what was the announcement? It's a long announcement, but Baba makes it very small. He says, Athwa lal, tera kal. So he says, 8th son of this very daughter, of this very lady, of this very woman, is going to be the cause of your death. In this way, there was this Akashwani. Now Kamsa, he was a demon, and one of the qualities of a demon is that they are very selfish. As soon as he came to know that my life is in danger, he immediately pulled out his sword and he was going to kill Devaki on the spot. Vasudeva was a very intelligent person. He, through different philosophical arguments, tried to first convince Kamsa that he should not kill his sister on her wedding day. But he saw that Kamsa is not relenting. Finally, what does Vasudeva do? He says that I promise you that every child that will be born, I will give personally and surrender to you. Then you may do as you wish. Now Vasudeva had a very, very strong reputation. That means whatever he used to say, he never used to go back on his word. Kamsa didn't have that kind of reputation. So Kamsa trusted Vasudeva more than himself. He knew that if Vasudeva is saying, then surely he will give the child. So then he became pacified thus. In due course of time, Devaki had her first child, and Vasudeva, as he had promised, took the child and offered to Kamsa. And Kamsa, looking at Vasudeva's integrity, because he made a vow and he followed it, so he said that anyways it is the 8th son. The 8th son is going to be the cause of my death. No fear from the first one. You can take him back. And Devaki was very, very happy, overjoyed. Just then, Narad Muni comes. Now see, Narad Muni he is a great devotee of the Lord, who wants that the Lord should advent fast. Now when the Lord will advent? Only when the pot of sin of personalities like Kamsa, when it is overflooded, that time he will come. So in order to not delay the Lord's pastime, Narad Muni said to Kamsa, he said, why did you let this child go? And then Kamsa says, that's because the 8th child is the one who's going to be the cause of my death. Narad Muni says, how do you know how the demigods are counting number 8? If they are counting in reverse order, then the first one becomes the 8th one. How do you know? If they start counting from the second last, then the second one becomes 8th. So anyone can be the 8th child, anyone can be your Kal. So Kamsa, he became so shaken and then took counsel of his ministers who were also demoniac like him. And thus Kamsa himself went along with his ministers to Vasudeva and Devaki's house. And there he forcibly took away the child and killed it there on the spot. What a cruel demon. And then Kamsa imprisoned Devaki and Vasudeva. After that, every year they had a child. And all of them met the same fate. When the time came for the 7th child, so that time the Lord summoned Yogamaya. He called upon Durga Devi and instructed her that this child will be my plenary expansion and you may shift him from Devaki's womb to Rohini's womb. Now Rohini was already in Gokul because Vasudeva and Nand Maharaj were very close friends. They were relatives also. Vasudeva had already sent Rohini under the care of Nand Maharaj. So she was residing in Gokul. So now this is the Lord. The Lord is instructing Yogamaya. He is saying that you transfer this Balaram, Sankarshan, who is my plenary expansion, to the womb of Rohini. And because he will thus be forcibly attracted to the womb of Rohini, he will be known as Sankarshan. Akarshan means attraction. So the one who was forcibly attracted to the womb of Rohini is known as Sankarshan. The Lord also said that he will be known as Rama because he will give pleasure to all his relatives. He said another name of his will be Balabhadra because he will be very strong. His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj says that what is the proof that Balram is senior or superior or Krishna is senior or superior? He says that the one who does the Namkaran is the one who is senior. So Krishna, he already did the Namkaran of Balaramji before Balram came. So then who is senior? Once Krishna and Balram, you see in our temple in Vrindavan, you will see Krishna Balram are there. So Prabhupada asked all the devotees, so who is stronger, Krishna or Balaram? Prabhupada asked everyone. Some devotees said Balaram is stronger. He is known as Balabhadra. Balaram means he is a stronger one. So Prabhupada said, but you see where Balaram's hand is resting on. So if you see closely, now before leaving or even in the pictures you observe, Balaram, his whole weight is resting on Krishna's shoulder. So that is how Balaram is also supported by Krishna. So this womb was transferred to Ma Rohini. Balramji was transferred to Ma Rohini's womb. And then he appeared. So that is on the Purnima day, which we celebrate as Balram Purnima. When Balramji appeared, he was very, very dull. Very dull. Only when he was in Ma Yashoda's lap, he used to suddenly become very active. Because by then, already Ma Yashoda was pregnant with the Supreme Lord. Now our Acharyas mentioned something very amazing. See, what happens is that in Mathura, in the jail, Vasudeva and Devaki, they had 7th child was a miscarriage. Everyone knew it's a miscarriage. They thought miscarriage. Whereas actually Balramji was transferred to Rohini. So they thought that seventh child was lost. Now, the Supreme Lord, he advented how he first came into Vasudev's consciousness. And then from Vasudev's heart, he was transferred to Devaki's heart. From Devaki's heart, the Lord enters Devaki's womb. And Devaki never looked more beautiful, more resplendent as she had the Supreme Lord in her womb. Now very interestingly, Ma Yashoda and Nand Maharaj, they had no child for a long time. But once, one very old lady with 2 grandchildren came to Braj and started telling all the Brajvasis that I am the mother of Sandipani Muni, Paurnamasi. And these 2 are my grandchildren, Madhumangal and Nandimukhi. Please make a kutir for me. I am also a Jyotish. I am also an astrologer. And according to my calculations, Nanda and Yashoda are going to be blessed with a child very soon. So everybody was very happy because they knew Nanda Maharaj was the king. And the king had no child and they were not very happy about it. So all the Brajvasis, they always felt this, that they should have a child. Especially Nand Baba and Ma Yashoda, it is mentioned they were already having streaks of grey hair. Nand Baba's beard was salt and pepper. So they were already senior in age, but they had no child. So when they heard that now somebody is claiming that they will have a child, so they become very happy. They immediately constructed a small kutir on the bank of the Yamuna for Paurnamasi and her family to live. So Nand Maharaj suddenly started having special dreams. In the dreams he used to see a very beautiful blackish boy sitting on Yashoda's lap. And then when he looked at him closely, he used to disappear. Even Ma Yashoda was having such dreams. She was looking, when she used to see from the corner of her eye, she used to see that Nand Baba on his lap is sitting a very beautiful blackish boy with curly black hair and lotus petal eyes. And as she used to turn her face to have a clear glimpse of him, he used to disappear. So in this way, they were having these visions. From Nand Baba's heart, Krishna transfers to Ma Yashoda's heart. And from Ma Yashoda's heart, he transfers to Ma Yashoda's womb. Our acharyas say this. In the Bhagavatam, it is not mentioned. In the Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that Ma Yashoda, it was Yogamaya Devi, who was instructed by Krishna, who was instructed by Vishnu, that she had to advent by entering into Ma Yashoda's womb. But our acharyas say that Ma Yashoda did not give birth to a baby girl. She gave birth to twins. She gave birth to twins. It was Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom we will now refer as Brajendra Nandan Shyam Sundar. Brajendra Nandan means he is the darling of, the son of the king of Braja, that is Nand Maharaj. Shyam Sundar, the one whose beauty is like that of a rain cloud, fresh rain cloud. So this Brajendra Nandan Shyam Sundar, he appears from Ma Yashoda and Nand Baba. Because this Brajendra Nandan Shyam Sundar, he never leaves Vrindavan. He never goes anywhere else. He is always in Vrindavan. So then he appeared to Ma Yashoda and to Nand Baba. So Ma Yashoda, on the day of pregnancy, when she was pregnant, on the day of delivery, was so exhausted. After she delivered, she didn't know whom she gave birth to, whether it was a girl or a boy. She didn't know. And the housewife, who was also in the Prasuti Ghar, they have this maternity home, and she also had fallen asleep. So even she did not know. Now what happens is, on the other side, in Mathura, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears on Krishna Paksha Ashtami Tithi, which we celebrate as Janmashtami, at midnight. And when the Lord advents himself, he doesn't come as an ordinary boy. He comes in four-handed form with Shankh, Chakra, Gada and Padma. And he tells Vasudeva and Devaki that you were my devotees in previous lives also. You were Sutapa and Shrini and I came as Shrini Garbha. You were Aditi and Kashyap and I came as Vamana. And now you are Vasudeva and Devaki and I am coming as your son Krishna. Because you performed intense austerities for thousands of years and your desire was to have me as your son, and so I have fulfilled your desires. So the Lord comes, and in this way he is expressing to Ma Devaki and to Vasudeva. So then Vasudeva and Devaki, they offer prayers. So Srila Prabhupada in the Krishna book gives a very nice summary of all the prayers that Vasudeva and Devaki offer to the Supreme Lord in the jail. Then they request that Kamsa may come please take the form of an ordinary child. And the Lord gives instruction to Vasudeva that you go, cross the Yamuna and go to Nand Baba's house, and there you will see that a baby girl is born. You replace me with her and bring her back. Everything else will be taken care of. And surprisingly enough, Vasudeva saw that all the shackles and the chains, they all became open. So did all the gates of the jail. And all the security guards also went to sleep. And we know that famous story that how Vasudeva, he takes Krishna on his head and how he comes from the jail, crosses the river Yamuna. While he is crossing the river Yamuna, Vasudeva is getting drowned, submerged more and more under the water. And his face is also going to be submerged. And the Yamuna, there are big waves that are throwing up. Waves. Which is surprising, but not so much. Because Yamuna Devi is one of the principal queens of the Lord. And she wanted to take the blessing of the Lord, of her Lord. So Krishna, understanding this, he put his foot out of the basket. And there was a big wave, and Yamuna Devi, through her waters, touched her master's lotus feet. And then suddenly, the water level went so down, it just became ankle deep. And in this way, Vasudeva, along with Krishna, he crossed the river Yamuna and then comes to Gokul, goes directly into the house of Nanda Maharaj, goes directly into the Prasutigar, into the maternity home, wherein he sees that Yashoda is already sleeping and there is a baby there, baby girl there. Interestingly, Vasudeva does not see twins there. He sees only that the baby girl is present. So what he does, he takes Krishna and he places Krishna right next to my Yashoda. What he doesn't see is that there was already Brajendra Nandan Shyam Sundar present there. And this Vasudev Krishna gets merged into Brajendra Nandan Shyam Sundar. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. He is also the source of Brajendra, he is also the source of Vasudev. He is the source of Vasudev Krishna also. So they become merged, they become one. And Vasudeva takes the baby girl with him, goes back, crosses the Yamuna, and goes into the jail, puts his shackles back. Hearing the baby crying, the guards go and inform Kamsa. Kamsa comes there, and he tries to perform the same atrocious act of killing the baby. But this baby slips from Kamsa's hand and takes on a very magnificent, a majestic 8-armed form, and then tells Kamsa, laughingly, that the one whom you are afraid of, the one who is going to kill you, has already taken birth somewhere else. Do not harass Vasudeva and Devaki. Kamsa immediately humbles down, becomes fearful, releases Vasudeva and Devaki. He removes their shackles personally and he apologizes to them. Now on the other side, in Gokul, right here in Gokul, there is a big celebration. Because in the morning, when Ma Yashoda wakes up, she sees that there is a very beautiful blackish boy who is sleeping right next to her. So she becomes overjoyed. And then the news also reaches Nanda Baba, who comes so elated because after many years, now he's got a boy, he's got a child. So then he runs inside the house, and Ma Rohini, she puts on a curtain immediately, puts out her hand, saying, give some bakshis. So immediately Nanda Baba takes out his necklace, gives it to Ma Rohini. And then she opens the curtain. Immediately Nanda Baba reaches there. What does he see? He sees such a beautiful black boy, curly black hair, lotus petal eyes. He sees that the boy is playing and his finger has got stuck in his hair. So such a beautiful form. And Nanda Baba is so elated. So is Ma Yashoda. And that day becomes a very grand celebration. And what is that day known as? Nandotsav. Nandotsav, very big celebration. And Nanda Maharaj starts giving charity. He gives so much charity, that those who are receiving charity also felt that we are not qualified to receive it. Nanda Maharaj gave so many decorated cows, it is mentioned. Not just cows he gave away, he gave cows who were decorated in gold and silver, he gave out to everyone freely. Gave so much of grains, so much of ornaments. This is what Nanda Baba gave on the day of Nandotsav. With that jubilation and happiness that finally a son has been born to them. So in this way, the Supreme Lord, he advents himself in this world, and that place is Gokul. Now why is this place known as Chintaharan Ghat? This is a ghat, as you can see. This place is called Chintaharan Ghat because as the next place we will go to is called Brahmanda Ghat, where Krishna performed the pastime of showing the entire universe in his mouth to Ma Yashoda. So therefore it is known as Brahmanda Ghat. So when Ma Yashoda saw that, she became completely confused. And then she comes here. And because she was in anxiety, in chinta, she was having chinta, that is my son the Supreme Lord, or is he an ordinary boy? Or he is my son? So she was having this kind of confusion, she was having this kind of anxiety. But when she came here, sitting in the soft sand here, seeing the Yamuna flowing by, all her worries and chinta went away. And therefore this ghat became known as Chintaharan Ghat. And this is Chintaharan Mahadev, where most of you have taken darshan of. So these Shivlingas are representations of Mahadev, who also resides here, who came specially to take darshan of Sri Nandalala. Lord Shiva is the topmost Vaishnava, and he resided as a Baba. When he came to take darshan of Nandalala, so that time Ma Yashoda did not allow in the beginning, because she was afraid that looking at him who has come smeared with ashes, with a snake, looking at such a yogi, looking at such a Baba, Ma Yashoda felt that if her Lala sees, he will become afraid. And so initially did not give any darshan. And Lord Shiva was very upset with this. He was feeling very unhappy that he is not getting darshan of Nandalala. But Krishna is also crying and crying. That day Krishna was also crying and crying. So much crying that nothing was able to pacify him. And then the elderly gopis, they asked Yashoda, did somebody come who put a buri nazar on your Lala? So Ma Yashoda said, yes, some yogi had come today. So the elderly gopis said, go and find him. So they brought him and they called the yogi. Ma Yashoda she gave darshan of Nandalala to the yogi. The yogi Baba said, one request, please put the lotus feet of Nandalala on my head. Ma Yashoda was initially afraid, because even the hair was jata with scorpions. But then she does that. And this yogi is in complete bliss. So, commemorating that pastime, Lord Shiva, he eternally resides here in Gokul Nandgaon. So that is what we took darshan of, which is Chinteshwar Mahadev. So there are all these pastimes that happened from the age of Krishna's appearance till around 3.5 years, including Damodar Leela, they happen in Gokul. So we are very fortunate here that we are taking darshan here of all these pastime places where the Lord personally performed very special leelas. So we will end here. Now we will have some prasadam and we will continue with our katha in Brahmanda Ghat and Ukhal Bandar. Śrī Krishna Chandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Śrī Krishna Balaram ki Jai. Śrī Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Nitai Gaur Premanande.